Welcome to another episode of MandaWay. This is DepEd MandaWay's weekly videos that share insights into how things work in DepEd. I am Elmer.
And of course, this is Armi. In this week's episode, we will be talking about classroom assessment. With us this afternoon is the school principal of Magika Elementary School, Dr. Alma J. Bardoquillo.
Hello everyone, I am here in the MandaWay episode on classroom assessment.
And to my right is Mrs. Catherine Tonyakao, Master Teacher at Tabok National High School. Would you like to share a few words to our viewers, ma'am?
Good afternoon, everyone, to the viewers who are watching this episode, especially to my school head, Dr. Oliveros, and to my colleagues at Tabok National High School.
Okay, so welcome once again, and it's another session again of tackling issues and concerns in DepEd MandaWay. To start, since we're talking about classroom assessment, what do you mean when we speak of classroom assessment? Ma'am, Alma?
Of course, the classroom assessment in the K-12, no, this is an integral part, no, of the teaching and learning process wherein teachers, this helps the teachers know the strength and weaknesses of our children when it comes to learning process.
Okay, how about Kumkat? Do you like to add something?
If ever the teacher is able to spot some weaknesses of the students, the teacher is there to adjust his or her instruction. And what is very important about classroom assessment is it promotes self-reflection. The learner is a co-participant of the teacher, so it is not just a one-way process. Yes, so students will be there to self-reflect, to help also the teacher in his or her instruction.
No, it's good to know that it's like a corrective measure.
Yes.
That when we do classroom assessment.
Yes.
Ma'am, are there types of classroom assessment?
Yes, there are two types of classroom assessment. No, one is the formative assessment and the other one is the summative assessment. No, formative assessment can be given daily, no, during the teaching learning process. Like for example, the daily quizzes, but these tests are only for use only to identify the weaknesses and the strength of each learner. No, well, the summative test, this test is already a recorded test. No, this can be given at the end of the unit or every end of the month, no, or semester.
Correct. Just an addition, when we speak of formative assessment, it is an ongoing assessment. It could be given before the lesson, during the lesson, or after the lesson.
It doesn't have to be recorded, Mama?
Yes. It could be recorded in a way so teachers will know about the strengths and weaknesses of the students, but it should not be part of the computation of the grades.
Okay na, okay nang klaro.
Klaro lang din siya. It is not part of the computation of the grades. So it is where instruction is adjusted.
Okay.
While for formative assessment, yes, Madam is right, is given at the end of a unit, or quarter, or semester.
Okay. So
Summative.
yes. In addition to that, no, can you please enlighten our viewers on what do we specifically assess in the classroom?
There are several things that we need to assess in the classroom. Foremost, we need to assess the competencies of the students, if the students are able to hit the target. Also, along with it, we are also assessing on the performance standards and the content standards, because this is what K-12 curriculum is all about. Everything should be aligned from performance, content, performance, and then competencies.
What if they don't hit the target, Ma'am? What do teachers usually do?
If teachers see that the targets are not being met, teachers should do necessary intervention. It is a no-no to leap or jump to another competency without having the previous competency being mastered. it should be ensured that there is mastery of competency, especially that there are competencies which need prerequisites, mastery of prerequisites. So how can a student be able to understand the next topic if the said prerequisite is not being well-founded?
Yes. Logic dictates to be so.
Yes, it's all about logic.
So how do we assess our learners in the classroom?
Okay. In the classroom, there are many types of assessment, no, that is being done, no. In, like for example, in the formative test, as what Ma'am said, na there is pre,
Yes, that.
the pre, the during, and the after, no? So, in the formative test, quizzes can be given, oral tests can be given, but again, these tests are not recorded. But again, as what Mom said, that it can be recorded, but for the purpose of benchmarking as to what our learners na progress, no? In what is this during the teaching learning process.
Yeah, right. So it's a form of progress tracking.
Okay.
And then, because there is a fact that our students are diverse, therefore assessment should be multifaceted, or it should come in various modes.
Be contextualized too.
Yes,
no?
contextualized
That's
too.
that's the essence of matatag.
Correct, that's the essence of matatag curriculum. Then assessments could be either individually or it could be done collaboratively. Yes.
Collectively.
Now, speaking of matatag curriculum these days, is our classroom assessments, are they being adopted or changed, modified according to matatag?
Based on matatag, I think we still have to keep the value of what is the real essence of classroom assessment.
Yes.
As a teacher in the classroom, there is no single grade type of assessment. You have to vary it according to your learner's capacity.
Yes.
So we will be able to because our curriculum is inclusive. So we have to target all types of learners, right, sir?
So I guess that during the national training, regional training, division training, it has always been given emphasis that under the matatag curriculum, that it's really the context of the child, even in the doing of the exemplars. No, it's really the context of the child that is supposed to be the main consideration. So I guess it's the same with our assessments.
Yes.
Alright? Yep. So thank you for the sharing. No? Since we've been talking about assessment, so if I may ask, how would you describe our grading system in our current setup? Yes, go Alden.
Okay, our grading system, no, in the current setup is very friendly, no, because we, as the framework says, no, that the learners are the center, no. So we consider every time we have the assessment, we consider always our learners. So we have diverse learners. So it means na our test also will depend on the capacity of learners we have in the classroom. So again, differentiated instruction come in. So our test will be tailored to the kind of learner we have in our respective classroom. So that's what also the teachers are following, because of course they should be learners friendly.
Correct. And if we're going to look into the curriculum as well, it is based on standards and competency. So it's competency and standards based. And I would agree with Madam that it is really friendly, because if the score on the record is 60, it will be transmuted already to 75. Wow, so amazing. So that's really learner friendly.
And still, we consider the two main categories like performance and written.
Correct, sir. Yes.
In which which one is the higher indicators weigh the end?
Yes, we take note of the written tests, or the written work, the performance test, and the quarterly assessment. And then It is categorized because different subjects, in our case, if it's in high school, there are 3 categories. And for me to remember, I made an acronym. So the first category is LEA. Languages, it's it's composed of Filipino and English. And then Araling Panlipunan and ESP. So under LEA, for written work, it's 30%. For performance, it's 50%. And then for the quarterly test, which is 2 to all, it's 20%. For math and science, it is 40% for written work, 40 for performance, and then 20 for the quarterly test. Which is different for TLE and MAPE. If it's for TLE and MAPE, written work is 20%, performance is 60%, and the quarterly test is 20%. So all in all, 100%.
Right. So with that kind of guide, I think teachers are really knowledgeable na in terms
Yes,
of categorizing everything.
Yes.
Yeah. It's still though, because in the past, students would only count on the fact that they would not do anything during the regular classes, but they would come in during exams.
Yes,
That's the problem, right?
that was.
At least this time there is a something that prevents them from doing so.
Yes.
It's only 20%.
Only 100%, yes.
The test is only, the assessment, quarterly assessment is only 20%.
20%. Yeah.
So they have to exert
There's
more
a
effort.
deterrence.
Yes.
Corrected. But let's talk about the ones in your class, Ma'am Ka. Since you've already categorized everything, how easy or how difficult it is to do assessment with regards to your tool, right?
With regards to my tool, as a teacher in the classroom, it's quite difficult for me if I will not exert effort and patience. But if the teacher, given that the teacher has the passion, the grit to help students, it will be quite easier. So if the teacher is passionate enough to help students, then the teacher would surely, according to Madam, tailor fit to help the student, but not compromising the quality, of course. Because at times, perhaps we might say, sige na lang. Pero that shouldn't be done, because we need to take note of quality as part of DepEd's mandate to deliver quality education.
To standardize things, that's where rubrics are very useful, right?
Correct, sir. And I would say when you prepare rubrics, it makes your life easier.
Yes.
Yes. Like holistic rubrics or analytical rubric. So it makes your life easier.
Exactly. Muna yung nakalindot.
Sa kaya nakalindot.
Or in your office, Ma'am Al, have you received any complaints or challenges in terms of classroom assessment?
In terms of classroom assessment, yes, no? We encountered challenges, no? Especially those honor pupils of ours. Sometimes, magod, the ego of the parents, especially when they compare the grade of that child to her child, no? She believes na ang iyang bata is brighter than this one. So that is why during complaint mo about at first the teacher, no? They talk with the teacher, and then if they're not contented, arin na sa guidance, and then arin na din sa office. But definitely we resolve good everything, no, in the school. The problem in the school, we rest assured na ma-resolve yun sa office, taman ang problema, no, na dili na maabot sa asa pa sa district and sa division. Utobra sa school. Dili gid na siya maligtayan, ma'am. No? Naa din ang problema. But at the end, what is important is satisfied ra gyud ang ginikanan. No, sa explanation. Kinahanglan ang imong mga records, the records of the teacher should be kept intact and open. This is a public record.
Yes.
So you have to keep that open. Whoever mo mangutana sa mga sagrado sa bata. Wala din natin kay importante nga transparent lang gyud ang teacher, no? Kay dili gyud na may naatay mga favor. So okay ra gyud ang tanan.
It's like public trust, no?
Yeah.
What about you, Ma'am Cass? Were there any troubles nga kanang naabot sa imo ba from the students?
Actually, there are challenges, and one of the challenges is that given these sets of tasks, there are students who will really not do tasks because of some problems in terms of behavior. And there are as well students who are good in behavior, commendable behavior, but their level of capacity is not that good enough. So where does the teacher get in? It's like the teacher is preparing remediation activities to help them, not later than 5 weeks. So
Yes, yeah.
we have every 5th of the week, we give remediation. But in our school, as soon as the teacher is able to detect that the student has any difficulty in such a competency or a certain competency, we prepare scaffolded materials already.
Yes, that's good. Let's be proactive.
Proactive, correct, sir.
Why wait
That's
for the
right term.
fifth week? No, we can do it in the first. Manifest naman ko ng bata.
Correct, sir.
Well, we'll be talking more about the remediation na na-mention ni Ma'am Ka later. Okay, when itong na-discuss, let's pause for a short break, and when we come back, again, as promised, we'll talk about remediation. Let's pause for some reminders.
Okay.
Short break. Garbed in attires that exude athleticism, billeted in safe havens with secured modes of transportations, and embodied with disciplined gestures, the MandaWay City contingent has set its focus to bring home the bacon in the 2024 Central Visayas Regional Athletic Association meet. And yes, its course was well charted, placing the team in the final top 5 spot. Hitting the goal was not a one-man show. It took the whole village to run the system, from assessing, planning, and acting. With strong influence, the leader was with members diligently working on their respective committees in coordination. Considering the ants in Proverbs chapter 6 verses 6 to 8, the chairpersons from various committees worked wisely to ensure smooth implementations. It was positive, food served on time, with variation and nutritious. It was not difficult to be in this committee because we are used to this, and we are TLE teachers. Collaboration is evident, remarked Mrs. Clarissa C. Hugalbat, the co-chair of the committee, with Dr. Rufino T. Toad-Lawson as the chair. One of her fellows added, "Food committee rating is overall excellent." We were able to cater to everyone's needs beyond what was expected. Mrs. Fretzy Fabroa, one of the members of the Beautification Committee, with this statement, "The task before us was not that easy, but with division of labor, we were able to set the decor conceptualized by Mr. Kenneth Alistair S. Rojas. Even before the official start of this year's CBRA, we already had series of meetings and initial setup. We are blessed to have people from the Department of General Services who worked with less supervision." Furthermore, she said, "What gives us fulfillment is that the backdrop becomes a part of the athlete's journey, whether winners or learners." Speaking on behalf of his Committee on Transportation, Dr. Ronald Manoyan noted, "We rate our committee 9 over 10, 9 because there is still room for improvement. Though there were challenges, especially during peak hours, there were no delays during transport. Business hours run smoothly from 4 a.m. first trip to 10 p.m. last trip." Finally, the Food and Snacks Counter Committee Chair, Dr. Marinisa J. Olvida said, "As the chairman of the committee, our performance is more than 100%. Why? It is because we start at 3 a.m. and end at 10 p.m. She appended that they find fulfillment in the preparations. Meals must be packed because they are lined up for the next game. We are made part of their success, and this is truly fulfilling, especially when coaches who requested are respectful and are collaborating with us." Everyone was on their toes. To all committee chairs, co-chairs, members, and to the rest of the technical working group, congratulations. You have toiled beyond what is expected. You have let your radiance shine amidst tire-inducing heat. You have rippled positive character that made us push this through. Not one is discounted. We are one single unit mutually operating. Finally, Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Bianito Adagadan underscored, "To the athletes, winners, or learners, congratulations, you have made MandaWay proud." In unity, there is strength, this timeless adage. Best describes how we gain strength from each one's best. To these heroes, our thank you is not enough. To more collaboration in future athletic endeavors. Congratulations, MandaWay movers! And we're back.
Okay, welcome back again to this episode of ours on classroom assessment. Again, we have here our guests, Ma'am Alma Bardoquillo, the school head of school principal of Magikay Elementary School, and then we also have here one of our best master teachers, Ma'am Kathy Tonyakao from Tabuk National High School. Ma'am Kat, I'd like to go back on what we talked about earlier on remediation. Can you elaborate further? Kon ba ka kay presko mo gid ka namoy ka sa field, no? So
Yes, sir.
how do we go about atong remediation?
Actually, based on the DepEd order, it will be given at the 5th week of every quarter. But in our school, we find out that it is a good initiative for teachers to give it when we can do it. So if it's applicable for the 2nd week, when we can give it on the 2nd, then why not give it?
Not to wait for
Not
the
yes.
fifth
Why
week,
not?
right?
Why wait for the 5th week when we can do it earlier? In terms of remediation, I just would like to share an innovation in school. Kay naning gyud ko na pagkamaisa, no?
Sana all
Mauli
ay
ni
di ba?
Sana all, sana
Ako nas
all.
pagkananing ba? I crafted a SIM, and the meaning is scaffolded intervention material. It is termed scaffolded because it is assisting learners who fail in a certain quiz so they can better garner good scores in the said SIM or intervention material. What is an addition in that material is, for the first part, I included input enhancement. Why? Because I noticed when teachers will give retests or remedial tests, it is quite the same. Not all teachers, but it's just quite the same with what has been administered. Oftentimes, what is 1 to 10 is still the same with 1 to 10. What's something unique with scaffolded intervention material is we included a simpler discussion before an activity is given.
Wow.
So that the student is refreshed as to what the competency is, what are the things to remember, what are the clues before the activity will be answered. So in that way, the students are really assisted so that remediation is really effective.
It's not just plain retesting, no?
Yeah, it's not plain retesting, sir. There is an input enhancement before the test.
Who are the usual clienteles for, or who are the usual beneficiary of the remediation?
Remediation. Those students who fail to get 75% of the written test or written work. So if ever they get that, then we administer the SIM or the scaffolded intervention material. I know it's quite taxing given the task, the heapful task we have, but if we have the time, please try. And I'm egging on others to do also because it's really effective. And I'm very willing to share how we go through it in Tabuk National High School.
That's very good
good,
news.
that's
What
good.
about the bright students, ma'am? Do they also get a certain program, like for the least mastered?
For the least mastered,
They have the remediation program.
yes, they also go through the remediation program or remediation activity or the SIM, the scaffolded intervention material, because oftentimes there are students who are best performing, yet in some competencies they might find it difficult. So they still go through the same process as that of those.
as the need arises.
Yeah, as the need arises.
Well, I like it. Maybe there are some students who really would want to like learn more.
Wow.
Let's talk about something else. Oh, did I? Still, assessment. How do we report the learner's progress at the end of the school year, Ma'am Al?
Okay. Reporting the learner's progress at the end of the school year, this is a crucial part, no? Because we will be releasing the report card to the parents, no? So in our school, before we release the card, we are mandated to release the card every 1 week after the quarter test, right? So before we release the card to our parents, we see to it na the grades are being reviewed, no?
We have a grade level checking, no, of the grades of the children, no, before we release the cards. So at the end of the school year, because in a school year there are 4 quarters, so that means parents already knew the rating or the grades of their children every quarter, no. So at the end of the school year, we have this what we call the school checking, the grade level checking, the school checking, and we have the division checking. So before we finally release the card of our learners, we see to it that everything is being checked. No? The last checkers are the checkers from the division office. So ang tanan jud nga grado diha sa ato ang report card, true and correct, no? True and correct gyud na siya, di gyud na siya malalis because mao gyud na siya reflected from the 18A down to the from the class record down to the 137 of the children, no?
Wow.
So mauna ang ato ang pag-report sa ato ang ginikanan, no? Dili gyud ta mo release og card nga wala na check sa division. So meaning true and correct na gyud ang card nga atong release ang mga entries tanan.
Yes, that's part also of our daily grind, no? Especially at the end of school years, no? We education program supervisors, we go to schools and also do the random checking. All right, in line with that, can you also give us a glimpse of how do we go about the process of promotion at the end of the school year, Ma'am Kat?
Promotion. It's very simple for a student to get promoted. A student should only get 75 to be promoted. So from 75 up, every student will be promoted. But in the event that the student fails in not more than 2 subjects, the student should take a remediation class. Yes.
That will be usually, supposedly summertime, right?
Yes. And then the remedial teacher should take note of the progress of the child. And if then still the student does not meet that 75 passing grade, the student will be retained as much as possible because teachers are really compassionate and the learner is the center of the educational system. No? Teachers should exhaust all means and effort to help students pass.
So I think that's the key word there, exhaust.
Exhaust.
Exhaust all efforts, yes.
Talagang nahihirapan na si teacher pero go lang ng go.
Bitaw.
Yes.
Basta ang effort lang gid exhaust
Yes.
na.
Oh,
Sa
yes.
elementary, sir, kay as far as our releasing of the report cards is concerned, wala gyud mi nakita nga problema, no, kay as much as possible nanay nakita ang teacher, di ba, in our DepEd order every 5th week man. So murag wala mi ni follow ana, no, kay right there and then
same
kung
sa
nakita
mua.
na ang problema,
Correct.
i-correct dayon sa teacher. Ang teacher mo remedial dayon para at the end of the quarter wala jud nakita nga bata risk of failing.
Correct. We're the same,
So
madam.
naay daghang mga pamaagi ang teachers nga mo come in just to save the child from failing.
Correct.
Does it mean, ma'am, nga wala joy no one should be left behind or kanang wala joy mahagbong
Yes,
because of the remediation?
because of the remedial instruction of our teachers.
Kung yung nanaon gyud siguro, wala, it's a very probable thing, wala gyud mahagbong, no? Kung at the onset pa lang nakita na niya na the remediation, no? So
Correct.
yes,
Correct.
that's di kita kaingon nga kanang papasaron tanan, no? Nakapasar kay gitrabahoan.
Gitrabahoan.
Yes, address right there and then the
Correct.
problem.
Sana na makita ang proactivity sa teacher
Correct.
dito.
In the event that there is failure, that is because there are some uncontrollable factors like gitaban. Saon man na.
Lisod na
Lisod
gyud
man.
na. Lisod na.
Maugid bitaw, it's a reality no na ay gitaban. Saon man nakadungog bitaw sa akong teacher. Yung saon man na ako miskat ako jung adtuon. That's beyond my control. Bitaw sana agi uncontrollable
Okay.
factors, but yes, provide give us or provide us the proofs that you have exhausted all these
means.
things just to save the child. But that's uncontrollable. I think that's acceptable, right, sir?
Yeah.
It's beyond their control.
Okay.
Ito, no, it's difficult sa high school, ma'am,
difficult,
no?
sir.
Kung nga nga cases.
Oh,
Wa na namo sa elementary.
wala sa wala pa. Dali jud na sa high school magsugod daw.
Lagi, no?
More nang time
Listen.
di kita moingon sana all.
Dito may kung sana all.
Sana all, yes, sir.
But of course, kanang maningkamot gid no to save
Ay,
everybody.
maningkamot, magyud si teacher. That is always a reality, no? Others might say nga, kalma raman si teacher, pero behind that, kalma,
Correct.
naningkamot gyud si
Naningkamot.
teacher man. Kay teaching is really a noble profession, I would say. It's a vocation gyud. Hindi siya trabaho-trabaho
Yes.
ra. Vocation gyud siya man.
Correct. We produce the MOV lang yun.
Oh,
Ah,
we produce MOVs.
That is why importante sa among us teachers, first of all, strong gid atong sense of values.
Correct.
Correct.
In relation to values, mo na ako sunod
Amo,
pangutana.
di ay
Timing naman yun.
Timing.
Wala na
At least
prepare.
aside nga, values supervisor ko. Pero ang ako pangutana is, how are values integrated into our grading system? No? Napa ba to sa una nga, di ba? Atong sa
Not
karaan
Percent.
nga,
No.
na ba? So,
I don't know. Kakaron.
karon na
sa atong current ba, grading system, napa ba ma'am nga mo describe sa values?
Yeah.
Napa ba
Ah,
gyud?
Ako yung tubag, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Values no are being integrated no in all learning areas aside from having the edukasyon sa pagpakatao ato gyud na siyang gi-integrate in all other learning areas. And when it comes to grade, yes, we give grade, but in not numerical grade.
Descriptive
not
lang,
numerical.
descriptive.
There is a descriptive rating no
Okay.
wherein in our card, in our report card, we can see nga naa didto ang kanang makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, makabansa,
Okay.
and we rated them descriptively.
Descriptive.
We have this SO, the
Yes.
unsa ni, the sometimes observed. We have this RO, the rarely observed. We have this EO, the always observed, and we have this the NO, the not observed. Wherein at the end of the school year, ang atong mga learners, if they get 21 AOs, no, they will be given the merit award.
Character award.
Naagid na
Awarded.
sila, sir. No?
Is it the same with high school, Ma'am Kat?
Yes, sir.
Ah, okay,
Yes. The moment they'll get 21 out of 28, madam, no? They will be awarded with character awards. So they will be character awardees.
Okay, that's
So, dili dyan na tinood ang appeal siya sa imong grade. Kay murag giseparate
Dili.
Ah,
Dili siya
separate
appeal
siya.
sa grade because
Descriptive man siya.
non-numerical man
Non-numerical
siya.
man
It's
siya.
descriptive. And in coming up with the grades, teachers will convene as to, ang ayan ni saya, tagaan ako, or dili. Because perhaps if this student might exhibit this kind of values, but for another teacher, it might be the other way around. So teachers must
Yes.
convene as to if the student is deserving or not.
Kita ka, partner.
These are observable values. No?
Okay.
Inside and outside, the
Outside,
school.
yes, that's good. Kita ka, partner, kaabot ka tag 21 out of 28?
Listen,
Wala kaabot kay education program supervisor.
maka-Diyos for Listen, makatao, makakalikasan, wako'y tanong-tanong. Listen sa timong pangutana, partner na, ihatag lang nato sa wallet na tong guest na kaya naman. Well, kato, dili part ang grade. No, what about attendance? Are they also counted under the numerical value?
Yes. Oh no, not numerical.
Not numerical.
Na. Every day, our teachers check the attendance of our children. No, it is being reflected in their Form 1. No. Then in the report card, that is monthly. No, so makita sa tong report card ang monthly attendance sa tong mga bata. No? So naagid yapon siya, ma'am. Reflected jud ang daily attendance because in the depend order. Our learners are having required only to have 20% nga kanang excuse absences,
Excuses,
no, then beyond that it's the discretion of the school head, no, but of course we have to consider valid reasons out of those absences made by our learners, no, those excuse absences, no, muna siya.
Mga humanitarian
Yes.
reasons.
Humanitarian
reasons.
But it also becomes a point of consideration. Mura siya, signpost ba? Warning ba? Kung ang bata nagsige nag-inquire.
Correct. Oh, in consecutive 5 absences, that's the time you have to ask. why is this so, and do necessary interventions, sir.
Okay, so I guess no, we have our final question, my friend. No?
Yes, hello, grabe.
Grabe kayo, no?
Handog na sila kay
So,
final.
kuhaan siya. Simple, no? Who receives the report of the child's assessment? So, kinsa may pwede mo dawat, no? Sa report no, from our school nga to school. Kinsa man, ma'am?
Ako,
Ma'am, yes,
answer.
ma'am.
Okay. Ang mo receive sa assessment sa atong bata, no, first ang bata.
Okay.
The learner, good. The learner. Then, if na ay remedial reading, remedial teacher, mo receive sa siya. The teacher and the parents.
So, mag-communicated yung
Collaborative
parents
with
Receive,
parents.
no?
or guardian.
Kay para ma-track sad ang progress sa
Yes.
bata.
Correct. It's a collaborative effort, good sir.
Yes,
We should not disregard the role of parents
Mm-mm.
in educating the learners. Hindi
Yes.
lahat sa guro o ibibigay yung responsibilidad.
Yeah.
Actually, mo balik na sad ko sa matatag.
Oh,
Okay,
sige,
that
go,
is the
sir.
whole school approach. Yes.
Holistic yung approach.
Holistic approach, good sir.
Holistic
So, nang
approach.
very positive kita ng matatag.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, well, Ma'am Kath, would you like to say something or any parting words to our viewers?
To all the viewers who are watching, what I could say is, let's continue the passion in us to help mold our students. Yes, our job or vocation might be taxing with the presence of all tasks that we are going to meet and to attain. But let's take note that at the end of the day, it's very fulfilling when a learner will go back to you and say, "Thank you, ma'am, for all the efforts you have exerted." It's really fulfilling on my part, no? And we should not judge our students by the grades that we see on their report cards, because one time there was a student who asked or requested 137 from me. When I looked at it, it's full of red colors. But look at what he has become now. He's already a seaman, really accomplished in his life. So
Wow.
though these are numerical grades and this will tell us of the performance, let us not forget also about the values we have imparted to these learners. Classroom assessment is always not just about the teacher, not about the student, but it's a collaborative effort. And I would like to borrow from Sir Elmer, it is holistic.
Yes.
That's all.
Thank you, Ma'am Kath. Ma'am Man?
To all the viewers out there, thank you so much for watching the MandaWay episode. Good afternoon once again.
Okay. So, one of you, no, don't judge a cover by its book.
Oh, yeah. Don't
Judge
judge
a
me
book
because
by
I'm not
its
a book.
cover. Yes.
Not a book. I
Okay.
would like to say
Yes.
thank you, to Attorney Oro for making this possible and for
Yes.
making
Yeah.
us artista this afternoon, no? And to
out,
my
Dr.
shout out to
Attorney
Attorney
Oro.
and to my very supportive school head who will always say, "Go, Miss Kat, kaya mo yan." Thank you,
Yes.
Dr. Oliveras, and to my colleagues.
Yes. All right. So to everyone, thank you very much for sticking it out with us this afternoon. Magkita-kita ta balik diri sa atong programang Puno sa Kasayuran.
Ug pagkaton. Kini,
Kini
ang
ang MandaWay kaysa MandaWay daghang pamaagi.